Just go to bed, you fucking drunk. Leave me alone. Leave all of us alone. Rasmus's hands were shaking when he remembered what had happened the last time his father had come through that door at night. He still had the bruise on his back from the baseball bat. Just go back to bed, you asshole. Find someone else to bother. He felt the rage rising inside of him. The humiliation was the worst. The fact that he couldn't fight back was painful. At the age of 15, Rasmus was still scrawny. No one took him seriously. No one regarded him as anyone. But soon, they would. He was going to make sure of that. The steps moved on across the carpet, and Rasmus breathed again. He heard the door to his parents' bedroom shut, and everything go quiet again. He closed his eyes and leaned back in the chair for a few seconds before he turned up the light on the screen again. The expressionless white face of the tall and slender man stared back at him from behind the screen. He had written a new message. It's time. Chapter 1, November 2014. I had tiptoed around the cigar box for 2 weeks now. I was back in my house after the renovation which followed the fire, and sitting in my wonderful new kitchen with a coffee and pastry, staring at the box on the table in front of me. I hadn't opened it yet. The construction workers gave it to me after we were allowed to move back in. One of the men handed it to me, telling me he had no idea what else to do with it. We found it when we fixed the roof. It fell out when we removed the old wood and replaced it with the new, he said. The man in the yellow helmet followed his statement with a shrug, and I took the old dirty box out of his hands. It had been with me ever since. I had taken it in my purse with me everywhere, and taken it out now and then to look at it, but never opened it. Not yet, at least. Aren't you curious? Morton had asked several times when he caught me staring at it. Why don't you take a look? I'm extremely curious, I answered. Yet I still hadn't dared to open it. It wasn't like me at all. What was I afraid of? I asked myself over and over. I didn't know. I kind of felt like the box didn't belong to me. Like I was intruding somehow on someone's personal life. Like I was supposed to find its original owners and give it back. But I had no idea who they were. I didn't even know if anyone would care enough about it to want it back. It wasn't an ordinary box. Anyone could tell it wasn't. It was dusty and dirty from being up there under the roof behind the wood. Someone had cared enough about it to hide it well for many years. Maybe it was of importance to that person. Maybe I was violating this person's need to keep whatever was in it hidden. The thought only made me more curious. I touched the front again and ran my hand across it. On the cover was a handwritten name in cursive. Larson. Maybe it belonged to your grandmother? Morton had asked. But it wasn't my family's name. It wasn't even my grandmother's maiden name. I didn't know any Larson. It was a pretty common name here in Denmark, so it could be anyone. I tapped my fingers on the kitchen table and sipped my coffee. I had decided that today would be the day when I finally opened the lid. My fingers marched across the top. Just a little peek won't hurt anyone. I tried telling myself that maybe by opening it, I could figure out to whom it belonged and maybe get it back to the rightful owners. It just seemed so private. My fingers touched the front once again and stroked it gently while I wondered what great things could be in there. Kind of enjoyed having my own little fantasy about what it would reveal. And some part of me was really afraid to be disappointed as well. Maybe that was why I hadn't opened it yet. Maybe I was simply afraid of ruining the illusion. I was afraid of finding cooking recipes or grocery lists or something boring. I wanted this to be special. That was also why I waited till the house was empty before I finally lifted the lid with the tips of my fingers. I held my breath as I finally pulled it off. I was about to close it again, thinking I had no right to be going through it. But curiosity won. After all, it could just be cooking recipes, and then no one would feel like I had invaded their privacy.